Hey there, Ted here, BigGoofyRunner, for another one of my weekly videos talking about my weight loss, my exercising, how things are going, just basically health in general that I've been doing since January. So if you want to go back and look at those, I did daily vlogs in January, missing one day where I was sick, and then I've been weekly since, just tracking how I've been doing on weight loss, how my diet changes have been going, not on a diet, but diet changes, how they've been going, and how exercising has been going, and things like that. So right off the hop, as of the last week's video, mentioned it got new to treadmill. That is working great. It's a Horizon Fitness 7.0 AT. It's kind of bottom end of their studio line, so the bottom of their upper end for home treadmills. So it's doing good for us so far. The interesting thing is when I get off a run, I can tell my legs feel different after a run on it than they did on my old treadmill. The old treadmill, when I'd run on it, I'd walk off and the legs would be drained. There was something about running on that treadmill. I think I had a little bit extra, a little bounce or cushion when you ran, and it just sucked the energy out of the spring in your step essentially, and it just used too much energy to do anything. And this new one, I don't have that issue. I feel like I got more of a spring of my step as I'm running, but that means I am trying harder, running harder, and my legs are feeling beat up after the run, but in a different way. So on the old treadmill, I would feel like the treadmill was beating me up. Here it feels like I've worked my legs. So it's a good difference. That alone is a massive positive for the treadmill. It's doing good. On the main channel, after we've had it for about a month, I'll do a comparisons, pros and cons for the new treadmill. But as of right now, it's been doing great. Wife loves it. It's doing really good for her. So it's it's good. Running wise hasn't been great this week though, and that's not the treadmill's fault. I've been kind of stressed with work stuff and things like that, so just mentally I haven't got going. But for the runs I did do properly, there was a few runs that I just replaced with walking instead and stuff like that. But again, that was up here. That wasn't the treadmill. That wasn't the legs. That wasn't body issues. That was just mental. But I did do a kind of a higher speed run where I was basically incrementally increasing my speeds, and I got up to some decent speeds, not rivaling to where I was, say, back in 2014, early 2015, but compared to what I've been doing lately, it's been pushing, and it felt good to try, and felt good to push hard. So that's a massive positive. Couple longer type runs today, or not today, this week. I think the longest run I did this week was 7 miles, but I did it at a steady, solid clip, and when I finished, I probably could have kept going. So that alone is a huge improvement over what I would have been on the old treadmill. So that was good. That was a positive. This morning's run, I should have been doing maybe a bit more distance than I did, but mentally I wasn't there again, and so I just kind of put on basically a YouTuber I watched was doing some game streaming or something like that, and I just put that on, essentially like a vlog in the end, just people talking. And I can't run with vlogs. I need music. I need something like that to run to, or music or nothing. If I'm listening to somebody talk, I'm not paying enough attention on the run. But here, basically, that's what I was listening to, and I was at a slower speed, and the time just kind of passed nicely without too much problem. So that was good. That alone was that was also a difference from the old treadmill. I wouldn't have been able to do that on the old treadmill. It required concentration for every step, just to keep pushing. So that was good. So while I haven't used the treadmill to its fullest this first week, every run I've done on it has been a positive. I haven't seen any negatives for my running yet. And as I mentioned, the wife's loving it, and she has pushed it quite hard this week, and it's doing really well for her. So that's good. That's definitely a thumbs up for the treadmill so far, and kind of keep going from there. On the weight side, it's a little weirdness. So low last week was 244 and a half, which is down 10.5 pounds from when I started working from home for the COVID stuff, and also 22.5 pounds down from where the worst I got in January 3rd and 4th of this year. So that was the low there. Start of this week, that's where I kind of was at, and then somehow my weight went up 2.5 pounds from there. It had to be retained water or something. It was kind of weird. It took the rest of the week to bring that back down to the 244 and a half again, and then this morning I was up again. It's just kind of weird weight fluctuations right now. I don't know if it's because the running's not properly regular, or am I not doing my high protein diet quite the right way. Something I'm going to need to work out. It's not like I do not expect that the little weight bumps I'm seeing are legitimate weight bumps. I think it's some kind of bloat or retained water or something in my system not liking something I'm doing. So I need to get that sorted out this week. And so that'll be my main concentration, because I'm about 3 weeks out now from, well, it's an arbitrary goal date, but about 3 weeks out from a date where I'd like to be a fair bit lower than I am now. Not astronomically lower, but I definitely want to be under 240 by that time in that 3 weeks. So that's going to be one of the things I'm concentrating on. Also going to be concentrating heavily on actually doing runs and getting the runs in. So that's going to take some thinking. Like I'd already mentioned within the last couple weeks, that the novice training program I was in for a marathon doesn't really line up with what I'm trying to do mentally right now, which is lose weight with the running as part of the things I'm doing. I'm not training for a marathon as my goal. I'm training to lose weight. And what I was finding is the really long runs that are sitting out there on the schedule, I'm not ready for, not physically or mentally. So I decided to back off and figured, well, maybe what I would try is I would take that long run and split it in over 2 days instead. That was on that plan, so I could stick with the plan essentially as it was. And I'm realizing now that gives me essentially 3 medium length runs. That's more than my legs can quite handle yet either. There's a lot more work that needs to be done to get up to a different level for this, so I'm going to have to rethink my plan. And what I'm thinking I might do is kind of just go back to a more generic 4-day schedule where say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday runs and a Saturday run, and with basically 2 short runs being Tuesday and Thursday and medium length runs on Wednesday and Saturday. That gives me flexibility to move things around. Also basically make sure that it's easier for me to stay consistent with that than probably looking at doing some walking on those off days if I've got a chance and mentally I'm there. It just gives me more flexibility than trying to do 5 days of running right now. So until I can kind of get my brain level again, that kind of stuff. So going to be looking at that. I haven't really fully decided yet and committed to an actual plan there, but I think that's where I'm kind of shooting for. The idea being is that I would like to get, especially on the weekdays, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, I get off work at about 4 o'clock. I would like to be on the treadmill 4:15, before 4:30 at least, and I'd like to get my run done before supper. And if I go much more than like a 6-mile run, it's too late, and I should probably be waiting until after supper to run, and then of course I got to let supper settle, and then I run later. And I want the run to be a break after work, and just to give me that clean break, and the exercise be done, and then the evening is mine to spend with the family and do other things that might want to do, other YouTubey things, or maybe streaming or things like that. So just something different, and just using the running as a break in my day. It's like work, run, evening to my own devices or whatever, however I want to spend it with the family and stuff. So that's the idea, and that was one of the reasons why I actually vlogged every day in January, because I'd get done work, I'd shift computers, and I'd record how I was doing that day, just to give my brain something different to think about as soon as work was done. Give me that little break, that little snap from the work mindset. So like working from home, it's very easy to constantly be thinking about doing work. If I can plan my day properly, taking that clean break will work better. Basically, when I get to work, I'm more focused on the work part, and then my home time, I'm more focused on my home time. That better work-life balance. That's the ideas behind having that clean break, and that's what I'm shooting for. So that's why one of the reasons why I want to back off the lengths of the run I'm going to be doing, and just making sure they fit in that maybe an hour window that I'm giving myself to actually be on the treadmill after work is done. And then that'll be good. And then as I'm going to use that time on the treadmill to train to be faster, a little bit faster, make sure I'm pushing myself that way. So it's not going to be just a set it at a slow speed and just spend the time on the treadmill. I'm actually going to do training things, probably more speed or working on consistent running speeds on the medium length runs that I would be doing. Just those kind of ideas, and just building up my base level of running so that maybe the end of April I can go, okay, now's the time to start training for a marathon. My weight's down enough, I've got enough base level running, I'm got enough conditioning, let's go. That's the idea. So anyway, that's my thoughts. That's how things are going. Should be an interesting week coming up. Kids are on spring break, so they're going to be home. And I don't know if you can hear my son. He's playing video games in the other room with one of his friends, and it's quite loud, so that's going to be an interesting work week. Kind of looking forward to kind of adjusting my running plan to make it work mentally and in the time spots I've got to fit the goals that I have. And right now, the goals that I have are more centered on losing weight. Other than that, I think that's going to be it. I'm going to shut this video down from here, and we'll see how long it is and what that looks like when we get it out on the internet. But anyway, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the next video.